Okay, so the top of the primary hull had a chance to dry, and looking pretty good. So why don't we move on to the bottom half. This is the section that we're going to have that's actually going to complete the build. So let's put the top aside for now. And we'll put the ship herself aside. And I think what we need to do right off is we're going to start to drill some of the holes for the windows. And we're going to use the pin vise to do it. Just like we had done on the bridge. B and C decks. And we'll start at the front because there's going to be a light that comes out that's going to blink in sync be in sync with the two rear running lights. So why don't we do that first? And we're going to adjust it to, let's see. Yeah, we need to open it up. And it's a lot easier to keep removing bits at a time than it is to try to fill it in after the hole has been done. So let's... And we've got the light that's going to come out front. Just like that. So that looks... Alright, that's good. So we can do the two windows on either side. There we are. Alright, going around to the side, we've got some windows on this section. Yeah, that section is all set. I'll show you guys how it's gonna look pretty cool. There. Okay, so the windows are done, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the bottom for the sensor dome, just like we did for the bridge. So let's center that. Yeah, a little bit more light will come through that. Since we're drilling, we might as well take care of this right now so the wires can pass through. So we're going to start right about there. pass all the wires through, so that's taken care of. Okay, so we're going to do for the holes, the lights are going to be in the back. When the ship passes by, instead of having the blinking lights like on top and on the bottom, they've got them further to the back. So you can see on the bottom. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Yeah, let me get the back. Okay, so that's good. So the beacon lights are in. Well, drilled. Now the problem I'm going to have is I'm going to have two extra lights. We have two of the green blinking lights and two of the red. And I don't want them to, I want them to be utilized, so I'm just going to go ahead, we're going to put the running lights in on either side as well. Use this to make a mark, and then we can drill for the lights. Yeah. All right, so these are all set. So we got the beacon lights. The beacon lights are drilled, the windows on the sides are done. I think what we can do is I'm going to drill out some of the windows around the sensor dome. So I think everything that needed to be drilled is drilled. The windows, the opening. All right, so I think now we can move on to the detail part. I think what I want to do is I want to put the color in the rings around the sensor dome. That'll be cool. And I think we're going to use copper. We're going to be using the Aztec from Testers, the pearl. Yeah, that's really tough to paint because there's no way to, especially freehand. I don't have a mask for that. So when it comes to the copper, I think that's all we need. All right, looking at the bottom now, I think what we can go ahead and we can do is actually glue the sensor dome on. There. You can see we're going to have the same problem that we had with the bridge. What we're going to need to do is I'm going to put that white. can see those little dark circles where the pegs are to hold it in place. I think that looks better. Okay. So, let's see what's left. So when it comes to painting, I think that's it for the bottom. We got all the drills, all the holes that are drilled. I'll show you guys the... And I think what we can do now is we can do the decals. So we're going to have the NCC 1701. The registry markings that are going to be on the bottom, on either side of the sensor dome. And we got these markings we might as well use. And I think that's it. Because the lights around the sensor dome, the decals aren't going to be used for that. I put a little bit of warm water with a little drop of dish soap to act as the humectant. So let's moisten the decals. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's do the registry numbers. Here, and for the bottom, that's just about it. So, why don't we put a little bit of the micro set on. Yeah, that's it. Check in on the impulse engines. Remember we painted those last time. Oh, it's gonna go just like that. And we got the decals for the impulse engines. So why don't we go ahead and we're gonna there we are. That's pretty cool. All right, so I think that concludes all the decals for this model. So we got all the windows, we've got the registry markings on, we've got the impulse engines on, and we've got the beacon light holes and the one in the front. So what we can do right now is we can put it onto the secondary hull. The thing about starting to do is we're going to start passing the wires through, because we got quite a few. Yeah, I think what we can think about doing now is we're going to glue wish there was a way to clamp this. Alright, so she had some time to dry. And I think what we can start doing is we can think about hot gluing the lights into place. And while the glue gun heats up, we got to think about what we're going to do for the lighting, for the windows and stuff. Now I was actually thinking about taking the lights and making like a loop. Alright, that's good. And what we can do now is we can actually glue it, so I can kind of give you guys an idea what I want to do. So the reds are going to go on that side, and the green is going to come over to starboard. And we're going to make sure that it's going to be coming out through the bottom, like that. Alright, now we're going to put one of the blinkers on this side. Put the light in the front. These are going to go into the top. So we got the light in the front. Alright, so let's think about what we can do by putting all this wire so it's not in the way. There's a lot of wires in here, and I hope that doesn't come back to be a problem, like the secondary hull was a problem with all the wires. there's going to be a little bit of gap in a couple of areas that I'm going to have to just deal with, because trying to get everything to close because of the lights, it's pretty horrible, because there's so many wires and there's so much I use the hot glue to keep the bulbs in place, but I got to make sure that everything is working. See, you got the port and starboard beacon lights working on top. You can see we got the B and C decks lit up, and I had to clamp with a lot of clamps and the super glue, and we're going to have to go around, and I'm going to have to actually putty it up. All the running lights. So we got to wait for all this to dry, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're ready to finish it off. Okay, so it had some time to dry. It had a long time to dry, so let's hope that when we take the clamps off, it doesn't spring out. So let's hope it holds. So, needed a lot of clamps for this. So I think what we're going to do is let's start taking off the clamps. We got to re-glue it. Well, that's really not the end of the world, but all right. Let's re-glue around the front. All right, let's try it again. So let's try that again, because there's so much stuff inside the primary hull. The back held pretty well because I had really put some good contact super glue, and I had done the back section. So hopefully when this part dries, it'll be the same thing. It'll be nice and closed up. Make sure she still works. You can see the running lights, light in the front, and let's make sure the windows. We got the secondary hull, and we got the bridge and B and C decks. All right, what we got to do is we just got to wait for her to dry. All right, let's try that again. Hopefully we put enough glue where it's going to have stayed. All right, so that should be pretty good. And there's this area right here, and because of the glue and the lights, I didn't take that into account, because the wire and the leads on the back of that are pretty long, and I guess I was too exact when I put them together, and that's the reason that won't shut all the way. So let's put a little bit of the plastic putty on it. Here we are. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. So we gotta wait for that to dry now. And then we'll clean it up, and we'll unclamp it, and we'll see if we need to do any more adjustments. Okay, so it had more time to dry, another overnight. So why don't we go ahead and we're gonna unclamp this section now. And let's see if we finally got it all set. That's looking pretty good. So I think the primary hull is all set. It looks pretty good. We've got the seams are all closed. Finally, we got all that stuff inside. She's got a lot of stuff in that hull. That's the beauty of this stuff. So let's give her the test. So you guys remember we started off with the base, and this base actually came from the 25th anniversary of the Enterprise A from AMT. And you know, I actually got that model. Let's see. There we go. We've actually got that right here, and what I want to do is we're going to make a another model out of this. We're going to do another project. I'm thinking we're going to do the Enterprise as she burned up in Genesis, because this one, I did this one a long time ago, and she's seen her better days, and unfortunately she had a crappy modeler. So I'm thinking what we can do is we're going to make this the Enterprise that burns up in Genesis. And I had made this the NCC 1701A, but you guys can see this is 1537, okay? So you got 1537 scale, and this is what, 1650, and you can see the difference, the really big difference in the sizes of the primary hull. Now when it came to the wires, this ship had plenty of room to run the wires through, because we had one in the front, and we had the beacons, the port and starboard, and we had that underneath as well. But on her, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 lights that are running in the primary hull. And yes, I put the light blinker in the back, but I didn't want to waste the other beacon for the port and starboard, green and red, so I put them all in. So let's turn it on. You can kind of see what we got. So we got the bottom, and we got the one in the front, and we've got the blinking beacons on either side. And you can tell right off the bat, I mean, the amount of room that the Enterprise A had. So let's go ahead and let's see if I can show you guys the differences in the hull as well. Because we had to take the whole thing apart, if you guys remember, to get all the wires out. And it was attached to the base. Where's the other part? And we got the strong backs. Okay, so you guys can see where I had it attached to the base. Here's the secondary hull, and if we compare it, you can see the size difference. And we had a lot of problems stuffing all the wires into there. Plus, I wanted to light the windows, so we put the light strip in. And the problem we had with the wires clogging everything up, we ran through the saucer pylon, and that clogged it up, so I had to run a light back in there. That's why the light is not bright white. It's actually like a yellow because it's the old kit. But you see the size difference in the hulls. And not that we used it, but just to show you guys the sizes of the nacelles, the difference, just to kind of illustrate the size difference of these kits. You can see the difference in the nacelles. So there was a lot more room to work with in this kit. And it's on me because I thought about cutting the wires and making it smaller, but I just didn't want to risk ruining the kit, because the lighting kit for this model was from 1991, 91 and 92, somewhere around there, but I didn't want to risk messing it up, because you know, you cut the wires and you splice, and I figured, yeah, just leave it the way it is. It's working, It's old and it's been around a long time, and it's been in storage, and well, I just wanted to bring life back to this model. I mean, I had done this when it first came out. I had gotten it, so it was a long time ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to fix her up, put her back together, and we're going to actually make the Final Flight Enterprise with this. You know how she turns kind of orange when she burns up in the atmosphere, but that'll be another project, another video. I just wanted to show you the size difference. Give you a little tour of what we did. Now, because there was so many wires clogging up the saucer pylon, what I had done was the strip in here was supposed to illuminate that. And at first it did really nicely. But when we passed the wires through, there was so many wires, it clogged up everything and none of the light was able to pass through. So what I had to do was, one of the lights from the original kit I had to loop back in and put into the saucer pylon. That's why it's a little bit yellowish, because it's an older bulb. It's not the LED tape, and that's what that is. You can see we did the nacelles, the Bussard collectors. We had done the same thing from the second pilot, and it was the first one too. It had these kind of radar antennas coming out. You can see the light leak in the doors. That won't be too bad. I could actually just cover that up with some more paint. But we got the sensor lights in the back flashing, and we got the decals on the back, and we attached her to the base so she's not going anywhere. Bring you around to the starboard side. And again, you can check out the base. And one of the cool things about it is, you guys notice that there's a speaker on the back. She's got sound effects. We got phasers and photon torpedoes. And let's fire some phasers. So that, my friends, concludes the build. This was pretty fun. This was the reissue of the Longbox from AMT. And my friends, I thank you so much for watching this build with me. And when it comes to the Enterprise, the next build that we're working on is the one from Captain Pike from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We've also got the Enterprise C that we're going to be doing. I did the unboxing, and I showed you guys. So when it comes to the Enterprise, we got a couple more coming up with the projects, and we've got the Enterprise D, formerly of Eagle Moss, and now it's Fan Home, so I can't wait until we start getting that again. I am so looking forward to getting back into that build. So my friends, thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll talk to you soon.